Duale.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to confirm after your statement, the Parliamentary Service Commission, that there is no danger. But Mr. Speaker, with me, Honorable Kainan, Honorable Bandi, those of us who are in the 10th Parliament, I want to take the country and Honorable Kioni the memory line. In the 10th Parliament, this matter was brought to the floor of the House by the then Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the Honorable Maraga. And it was rejected. We were only 212. Yes. And later, in the 10th Parliament, the late Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Mutura Kilonzo, brought it to this House, to the 10th Parliament. It was rejected. Myself, as the leader of former leader majority, in the 11th Parliament, I tried twice. And the Speaker, parliaments world over, any jurisdiction, at the end of every question, the question will be put to members. Either the nays or the ayes will have it. Speaker, I looked at the House of Congress, our counterparts in a presidential system. If you look at the House of Representatives, the Congress in the US, today they are 23%, 23.7%. Before that, they were stuck at 19.1% in terms of gender representation. So, Speaker, the Chief Justice, based on Article 1, Sub-Article 3 of the Constitution, I was elected by the people of Garissa Township, and a Chief Justice or a President, by a stroke of a pen, cannot declare my seat vacant. That is as clear as that. It is not the Chief Justice who voted for me. And the Speaker, those of us who are in the 10th Parliament, this matter, I wish Honorable Sophia was in that committee, parliamentary committee. Speaker, if you look at Article 1, Sub-Article 3 of the Constitution, delegates the sovereign power of the people to, among others, Parliament. Further, if you read Article 94, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, clearly again indicates that Parliament represents the will of the people. We sit here, we represent the will of the people. The Chief Justice himself cannot become a Chief Justice without a due diligence process of this House. The Speaker, if you look at Article 94.1, it also confers the legislative authority on Parliament, and that authority is derived from the people. The people who woke up at 5, who voted for all of us. So, Speaker, my advice first to members of this House is that a time will come when we must have a unity of purpose. We must have a unity of purpose. Even if you don't talk to your women rep, even if you don't talk to your colleague, a time will come. The judiciary have a unity of purpose. The executive have a unity of purpose. But the legislature, over a period of time, didn't have a unity of purpose. Mr. Speaker, go to the House of Commons, and this is the time. And Mr. Speaker, this is the time. In fact, Honorable Otieno Omolo, we are not, why should we bother with the extension of 1520? We will delete Section 2. We will delete, yes. Mr. Speaker, the effect of the advisory. Mr. Speaker, the effect of the dissolution of Parliament, you know, Mr. Speaker, if we are talking about...
Now, you...
The Speaker should be heard.
Order, members. The Honorable Emilio Odhiambo, you seem to have forgotten suddenly that we are in the House. You have not yet been sent home. So just relax.
Mr. Speaker, the effect of the dissolution of Parliament, as contemplated in Article 261, subsection 7, could be to prematurely cut short the term of Parliament, thereby precipitating a general election. So, Speaker, I read some lawyers, including the president of the Law Society of Kenya, by taking the legislature back to election, it is not a by-election. It is a general election. A general election, it is when the House goes full swing to an election. It is not a by-election. And now if we go to a general election, Mr. Speaker, the only general election contemplated in the Constitution is in Article 101(1) of the Constitution. And that says the second Tuesday of August every 5 years, there will be a general election. And that applies to the president in the reading of Article 136. It applies to governors in the reading of Article 180. It applies to county assembly members within the reading of Article 177. And Mr. Speaker, you know there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. And that is why I tell people, former Chief Justice Willie Mutunga was a man who has been misunderstood. He was a man with a lot of wisdom. And I'm sure wherever he is, he could have done this. There are things that you do, even if the Constitution is explicit, but you must look at other factors. Public interest, wisdom. There must be wisdom. And I think with a lot of respect, I don't want to discuss the conduct of the Chief Justice, because he has, within the reading of Article 261(7), he has followed. But Mr. Speaker, the Chief Justice must answer the following questions. And I'm happy we are going to court. We are going to look for interpretation. The Chief Justice is the President of the Supreme Court, which is violation of that gender principle. Himself. The other head of the executive, the President, is in violation of the same principle. And we are three arms of government: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. So, Speaker, that's why I'm saying the Chief Justice should have, does the Constitution envisage another form of election other than the general election held on the second Tuesday in August of every 5 years, as envisaged under Article 101 of the Constitution? The Speaker, I have been elected to this August House 3 times. The people who elect me most, my loyal supporters, are women. And every weekend I go to Garissa. And the women of Garissa Township, they don't know anything about this 2/3 gender principle. They don't know. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I must be heard as a member for Garissa Township. The Speaker, even this weekend I will go. Last night they asked me, if you listen to the vernacular, last night the women in my constituency asked me, why is Parliament? I am the member for Kisumu, must know that I am a ranking member and I'm the member for Garissa Township. I am no longer a leader. Mr. Speaker, progressively. Speaking progressively, and you said it on TV, progressively from the 10th Parliament to the 12th Parliament, the number of women leaders have been increasing. Honorable Minnie Odhiambo is a classical example. She won twice. Honorable Sophia is here from the most, conservative constituency. Honorable Sophia, Honorable Shaban, they're here. Mr. Speaker, we cannot create a constitution that gives free seat to one gender. We cannot. Unless we agree as a country, we change our electoral system and we go on party list. If we go on party list, if we go the Rwanda way, then we can talk about it. But as long as you come to this house through universal suffrage, if you want to stand in Migoe, in Kipipiri, you must be ready to face with Honorable Kimunya, the leader of majority. Yes. If you want to stand in Garissa Township and you're of the opposite gender, prepare to face me. There's nothing for free. So, Mr. Speaker, the other thing I want to raise, which is very, very important, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, we need unity of purpose as the legislature. And Mr. Speaker, what the Chief Justice has done, and I think there's a man of the many people who were tweeting last night, the Chief Justice, I think what he has done to the President was described very well by an economist by the name David Ndii. He said, Justice Maraga has given the President a grenade when he has removed the pin. That is how, David Ndii tweeted. And the Speaker, this morning when I prayed my 5:30 prayers, I decided to watch TV. And I listened to, I don't know whether she's around, she was somewhere here, Honorable Boss Cholet, Gladys Boss Cholet. And I want to tell my colleagues here, this matter, you can't blame it on the 12th Parliament. If you are in the 11th Parliament, you saw what I went through myself as a leader of majority. In the 10th Parliament, may his soul rest in peace, Honorable Kainan and Bandi and Kioni will tell me, and Kimunya, what the late Butula Kilozo went through. And the women, in fact, every time we were discussing, the women went to New York. They went to New York. In fact, one time we reached 2008, there were over 32 women who were missing. Mr. Speaker, I think what we should not be bothered by that advisory opinion. We will deal with the way the PSC has done it. Let's continue with our function. But please, when we enter the precinct of Parliament, let us behave when the judges and the magistrates enter within the precinct of the judiciary. There is a unity of purpose. And I can tell you, I am not a lawyer, but my tweets last night, and Honorable Junet, in fact, the only legal man in this country who spoke for this Parliament is the Grand Mullah. We were waiting for Grand Mullah to tweet until 9 p.m. I don't know what he was planning. He was researching. And Grand Mullah, from where I come from, is an authority. The word Mullah means in the Islamic jurisprudence, when there is a contention, you go to that man. So those of us who are members of Parliament from the Muslim areas, we were waiting for the Grand Mullah. And Grand Mullah has put it very well. Honorable Otieno Omolo, I think, doesn't want to offend the judiciary because he's a customer. He's a customer. I'm not a customer. I mean, I don't do business there. But when your job is at stake, you must stand. Our job is at stake. Somebody wants to cut our 5-year term irregularly through a fraudulent means without looking at the Constitution holistically. I have no problem with Article 261, Sub-Article 7, but you must tell me and interpret what do we do with Article 1, Sub-Article 3? What do we do with Article 94, Sub-Article 2? What do we do with Article 94, Sub-Article 1? What do we do with Article 101, Sub-Article 1? What do we do with Article 136, 180, 177? All these articles must be read together for the Chief Justice to make a decision. The Speaker, the Chief Justice cannot just read one article and advise the President. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I want to particularly speak for my constituency, the women of Garissa Township brought me, and the men and the voters, they brought me, they are not aware what is going on, and I want to confirm to them. I am their member of Parliament until the next member of Parliament for the 13th Parliament is sworn in here. In fact, Honorable Junaid is wrong. Under this system, when the next member of Parliament is sworn in is when you lose your seat. So until another member for township is sworn in the next election, I don't want to talk about Parliament, but I want to speak to Garissa Township people. Don't listen to Maraga, he didn't vote for me. I have never seen him in the register of township.
Very well.
In fact, the president is a person I voted for. And I want to tell the president, please don't listen. Don't listen. We have some business to do for government, and we will continue.
Very well.